Good time oldies is 1060 WRHL. Jay Burlison here, and joining me on the phone now, a writer, a producer, a director, an actor, and we'll throw in RTHS graduate as well, Coleman Ranahan. Hey, Coleman.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing well. First off, I want to say it's good to talk to you again. It's been quite a while. You actually interned at a time here at WRHL, and that seems like ages ago now, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, but that was a lot of fun. That was probably one of the highlights coming out of college there.
Speaking of college, you graduated from RTHS in what was that, 2007? Was it?
Yeah, 2007.
And then from there, where did your journey go?
So for about 2 years, I was at Kishwaukee College. I was kind of taking general classes and kind of finding my way around. I even took a radio class, and eventually I found my way to an acting class where I met two of my best friends who were in the movie. From there, I went off to film school at Columbia College Chicago while they went off to Illinois State. And then I went to Columbia College Chicago for screenwriting, and I basically graduated in the end of 2012 with a degree in screenwriting.
Now, your feature film, Lost Signals, has just recently been released, has it not?
It has. Released it just before Christmas.
Tell me, what is the synopsis of Lost Signals?
So the synopsis for Lost Signals is, with only 2 days' notice, up-and-coming filmmaker Mike tells his two best friends that he is moving from Chicago to Los Angeles and must deal with the fallout that comes after on New Year's Eve.
Now, I can't help but think that some of this is real-life experience, am I right?
Yeah, actually, the kernel of the idea of the film actually came from something that happened about a year and a half before I wrote the movie. And but I knew I couldn't write just entirely around one tiny little bit, so I ended up, over the course of months, finding an idea that I could wrap around that. And it all involved, the kernel of the idea came around from a New Year's Eve party that happened a while ago, around 2010.
How long did this whole thing take you to shoot then?
So we actually shot the movie in 10 days, but the script actually took months and months and months to write. From May 2012, I spent 2 weeks writing the first draft because I didn't have a job lined up yet. And I wrote that, and then over the course of about 6 to 8 months, I spent workshopping it with a writers group in Chicago, and eventually kept writing up until the point we started shooting in December of 2012. And so we shot for 10 days. We shot for about 5 days before Christmas and then 5 days after through New Year's Eve, and basically filmed up until around the first week of January.
You know, I have to imagine for somebody who recently graduated college, putting together their first film, I'm going to guess you didn't have a whole lot of money to work with here, did you?
No, it was pretty strenuous. I had a little bit of money, but not a whole lot, and we also did an Indiegogo campaign to help raise a little bit of money to match what I had. But it was a good thing that I wrote the film to be as few locations and inexpensive as possible, so that ended up helping to my benefit as well. So
Lost Signals is now available. What sort of reception has it gotten so far?
It's been great. I mean, it's obviously it's a small film, so it's a little bit harder to get the word out. But a lot of people have been backers have been spreading the word, and stuff like this helps too. So a lot of people have been very supportive so far.
Wonderful. And if somebody is wanting to make sure that your film gets seen and heard about, is there anything that they can do from this point to help make sure that happens?
Yeah, it has a Twitter page online, Lost Signals Film, that you can find there. And then that'll also have links to where you can download it or where you can help spread the word from certain tweets, or we also have a Facebook page as well.
All right. And listeners, we're going to be posting a little bit about this interview on our Facebook page in a little while. And Coleman, with your blessing, I will also attach a link or two to a trailer and maybe a clip or two, if that's all right.
That sounds fantastic.
Excellent. So tell me, Coleman, how has it been out there? I mean, you're out in Los Angeles now, right?
I am.
You've been out there a while now, and you're not living on the streets. It seems like you're doing okay. How are things out there?
Things are good. I like Los Angeles. There's a big distinction for Chicago and Illinois people that LA is kind of the worst, and it's actually not. It's for me, Los Angeles is exactly like Chicago. almost in the fact that it's all entirely suburbs. There are incredibly nice people out here. You don't have to go far for that. And there's a lot of Columbia alumni out here, so I'm not alone out here. So it's actually pretty nice. Plus having the beach nearby is pretty nice too.
Yeah, and being Los Angeles, I assume it's kind of I don't want to say a cutthroat industry, but it's got to be tough to really make a name for yourself out there. How's that coming so far?
It's actually pretty good. It's, you find a lot of like-minded individuals, and you can easily see how, one friend will recommend another friend, and pretty soon you're standing next to people that are very influential in the film bit, or even the music business too. I've worked with a couple of music video directors and stuff, and it's a smaller world than what you think it is. The moment you think you're like, you might be at some small party and you might think that's something, inconsequential, and all of a sudden you'll walk into, not Steven Spielberg necessarily, but you'll walk into somebody that's a big name, and you'll just instantly be like, what? Hang on a second, what happened?
All right, Coleman, just to reiterate, if anybody out there is wanting to check out Lost Signals, recently released feature film from RTHS and Columbia College Chicago graduate, how do they go and check that out?
You can find the film on gumroad.com, that's GUMROAD.com, or you can find it on Twitter at Lost Signals Film as well.
Coleman Ranahan calling us all the way from Los Angeles. Hey, thank you so much for joining me, and it's good to hear that things are going well for you, Coleman.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.